Hello, I'm Helen Cummins from ABC Mallorca, and I'm here today with Cathal Rochford, the partner for Blevins Franks in the Balearics. We're here today to talk about the situation post-Brexit. Cathal, thank you for having us here today. Could you tell us something about what's happening now that we're in this post-Brexit situation or stage?
It's good to have you here again with us today, Helen. So since we last spoke, at that point we were in the pre-Brexit situation where we did predict that there could be an outcome whereby the free movement of people may end post-Brexit, and that has come to pass. So now, since the 1st of January, we're in a post-Brexit environment, and so the UK is now a third state outside of the EU, and the free movement of UK nationals to Europe and the automatic right to live here and retire here has ended. So now UK nationals can spend 90 days per a 180-day period in the EU or here in Mallorca. And if you want to spend more time than that, you will need to look at some form of visa or additional permissions. So for people who have, let's say, come for holidays, a lot won't change. You can still travel here for short periods, but if you do intend to move here, you will need to look at kind of immigration planning, which is kind of a new thing that we didn't have to look at prior. So with that, there are certain forms of visas where we can help guide our clients through.
Brilliant. So let's talk about people who have homes here, because obviously the Balearics, it's very popular with British residents for having a second home. And those people who would have maybe in the past spent 6 months of the year here or frequently visited their second home, how is this going to impact them?
Yeah, it will have a big impact because there was a lot of UK nationals who would have lived for part of the year in Mallorca and may have spent 4 or 5 months here at a time. So that will change, and many of these people will need to make a decision as to whether they're happy spending 90 days in total in all of Europe, which they could spend it here in Mallorca, or if they want to spend more than 90 days at a time, they will need to look at becoming a resident and make the decision to actually live here going forward. And so it is difficult because if you have a home here where you spent a lot of time and it would have been your home away from home, I think looking at residency might be a good option in order to spend more time here and not be kind of restricted to these Schengen rules.
So, Carl, just let's maybe take some examples of the kind of people, clients that you are talking to on a regular basis. What are the problems that you tend to find and what kind of solutions do you offer for people in these various situations?
Well, before Brexit, we just needed to look at the tax planning and financial planning. So we spoke to people about the financial implications of moving here, and immigration wasn't so much of an issue. Now we need to kind of concurrently look at immigration planning as well. So we can guide clients as to what form of visa might be suitable. There are various forms which will bridge the gap, and they can spend as much time as they like here. And with that, we also look at the tax planning. So people move here invariably, it's usually a lifestyle choice. They want to live in Mallorca and retire here. So one client we have at the moment, they want to live in the north of the island. They want to enjoy the holistic Mediterranean lifestyle of cycling and hiking around the island in the north especially. And so their key focus really was estate planning. They were concerned about how UK inheritance tax and Spanish succession tax would interplay with one another and passing assets down to their family. They were quite surprised that we could actually put them in a better position long term, whereby they can have the majority of their wealth passed down to their family much more tax efficiently. And the key issue here to look at is domicile. So if they adopt a new domicile of choice in Spain, they can actually improve their position. So oftentimes we can have our clients have their financial plan tie in with their lifestyle plan and actually get to an advantageous position.
That's actually what you've been doing for years, right? But regardless of Brexit, you're helping UK nationals to move across to the likes of the Balearics and to do it in a very financially efficient way.
Yeah, so I mean, we try to speak to our clients as soon in the process as possible and make the transition to their new home as efficient and seamless as possible. And so with that, usually they come to us because they say, I love Mallorca, I want to live here, this is where I want to spend the rest of my life. And they are concerned about the tax side and the financial side. it's a different tax system. It's a different language you need to, also into the equation as well. And so we just help them make the financial side very viable and efficient, and just ties in with their lifestyle choice.
So there's nothing to be scared of, is what you're saying. With the right advice, things can go very well for people.
Yeah, absolutely. There are opportunities prior to leaving the UK where you can position yourself very well. Oftentimes people have a UK bias with their financial affairs and the advice they take, and you need to kind of break that mold and think about how the Spanish system works. But yeah, with the right advice and restructuring things appropriately, you can get to a very advantageous position here. And it just comes down to the advice you take, and the earlier in the process you decide to come and speak to us or a specialist in the field. I mean, the cost of doing things wrong can be very high, so people shouldn't adopt a DIY approach to this, especially now when you have Brexit and other immigration hurdles to overcome.
Carl, one of the things we're seeing in the market in general here is the age profile of the people moving to the Balearics. It's changing, it's dropping drastically. So perhaps in the past, people were looking more for at retirement. But we're seeing, especially coming in on the web and so on, a lot of inquiries about people who are in their 40s and 50s. And for a lifestyle choice, for their lifestyle choice, they're deciding to relocate businesses, relocate their life here to the Balearics. What kind of advice can you give them in the Brexit situation?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, historically, our clients have been retired people who are looking to move here. And I think even with COVID-19, people have realized that life is short and nothing's guaranteed. So many people there's been a bit of a sea change. People can work remotely, and they've decided to make the move and live where they want to live, such as Mallorca, which is a very popular place. And so with this, again, they'll need to look at various factors like building up a pension or making financial plans here. So there's no point in kind of retaining a UK focus with these matters. You're better off taking steps to create a future here, which will be efficient and structured for your life in Spain.
So this is also absolutely within your arena to give advice to people who are planning to move like that.
I mean, in terms of people setting up businesses and looking for corporate advice, that's a bit beyond our remit, but we do provide guidance, and we have a lot of professional companies who we collaborate with on that front. But certainly people who are looking to accrue wealth and build up a future here, people who are in their 40s and 50s will eventually retire here. And with that, we can certainly assist them make Spain, living here, not just from a lifestyle point of view, but from a financial point of view, very efficient.
So just coming back then to people who have a second home, British nationals who own a second home here on Mallorca or Ibiza, Menorca, because you cover all of the Balearics, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So they can contact you, and you just tell us finally, what do you do for those people?
Yeah. So as I said, moving here now, you do need to, there's a few more hoops to jump through. There's immigration issues, and certain types of visas like the Spanish Golden Visa, whereby if you purchase a property of a certain level, or a non-lucrative visa where you have financial means to be self-sufficient here in Spain and you won't be a burden on the state, they are kind of straightforward means to obtain a visa and live here. So we look at these type of plans for our clients. We guide them as through the immigration planning here. We have our immigration advisory team in London now, who I work very closely with. So first of all, we look at the immigration planning, and then we look at the tax planning and make sure it all lines up to their lifestyle choice.
And the financial planning, of course.
Of course, yeah. And so I would say anybody who's looking to move here, get in touch with us, give us a call, and we can sit down and have a cup of coffee and see how we can help.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Cathal. It's been a pleasure. And I think for people who now find themselves in a situation where they don't have the freedom to come here for months on end like before, we'll be very happy to talk to you and find out where they go from here. Thank you very much, Cathal.
Thank you, Helen.